everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Happy August. I can't believe it's August. Today is August 2nd and it's a Sunday. So we are going to be implementing a no scroll Sunday, which if you don't know what no scroll Sunday is, I started seeing these on TikTok and like people doing day in my life on their TikToks, where basically it's kind of in the name, you block yourself out of your social medias for the entirety of Sunday. Which in a way is a little less daunting than trying to restrict yourself every single day. And I feel like it's a good way to kind of ease into realizing that you really don't need to be on social media. So that is the goal for today. I would love to get a brick, have been influenced. I haven't bought one just because it is a costly thing, but it's basically you get this little grey brick and you can set it up so then you can be blocked out of all your social media apps, certain social media apps, like any app really, and then you scan your phone on the brick. So you put the brick someplace, usually like outside of your bedroom, so then you physically have to go somewhere to do this, scan it, and then it locks you out. And then when you're ready to unlock, you physically have to go to that place where the brick is and like unbrick yourself basically. So I think just like psychologically it's a lot better than just like the screen time app on your phone, which is what I have to use today because I didn't buy this brick. But the simple act of having to go somewhere to unlock your phone is going to help you to not do that if you're like itching to get on social media, if that makes sense. So anyways, there is an app that I found called Focus, I think, where it works with QR codes and I think a couple other things, but the one that I would use is a QR code. You just generate a QR code, then link it to the Focus, and then you do the exact same thing. You print off the QR code, stick it somewhere in your room, and you can tap and untap your phone from that, which is a lot more cost effective because it's free. The app is free. So at some point I will set that up. Didn't plan well enough in time to do that today. I would need to print a bunch of QR codes. But anyways, at some point we will do that Focus app. But for now, I've just done the screen time thing on my phone where I've just said no social media today. And yeah, I do have a few things that I want to do. And those are as follows, and not in order. Tidy up, which I've already kind of done. Change my bed sheets because right now I have my winter like duvet covers on, which I love, but it hasn't been winter for a very, very long time. I need to switch them and I did get new bed sheets. So they're in the dryer. We'll do that right after this. Then at some point I need to do a pedicure because I need to do my toenails. I need to work on my journal, which I haven't touched since January. The only thing that I have like consistently updated in that thing, my arc tracker. Everything else I haven't touched. I haven't made a single monthly spread. It's just, honestly, I just haven't thought about it. I mean, it's on my desk, but I just haven't thought about it. So I just haven't done it. But I did print out all of the book covers for all of the books that I've read up until the end of June. I didn't do July because when I printed it, like it's only just been July. So I need to do that at some point as well. But we're gonna update that. We'll talk more about the reading journal when we get around to doing that. But that'll probably be an afternoon thing. And then I really want to do, or like make more of the little star garlands that I have. I know you can just buy those on Amazon. What is going on with my voice? I know that you can just buy those on Amazon, but I'm a DIY person at heart and I found gold paper and I have a bunch of string. So I'm just making it myself. And then it's a nice sunny day. We are planning on reading, preferably outside, maybe getting a little bit more of a tan. Speaking of reading, 2 books that I'm currently in the middle of. 2 big book series that I'm currently actively in the middle of. Do you see the size of these books? First, I am in the middle of Queen of Shadows. If you saw my last reading vlog, you know which books I'm in the middle of because I literally finished filming that the other day. But Queen of Shadows, book 4 in Throne of Glass. This book has taken me so long to get into. I flew through the last 3, like flew through them. But this one, mainly just because I don't have the audiobook to them. So when I'm in work Monday to Friday, I can't listen to it. I can only read it, which means that I only have about 45 minutes every day to read this book, and you can only read so many pages in 45 minutes. So it is taking me a very long time to get through, but today my goal is to prioritize this book and get a decent chunk in. I think I am a little bit further than this bookmark because I think I read a little bit further on my Kindle, but we really need to get through this. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be stuck and I'm gonna soft DNF it, which I don't want to do because I am loving this series. And then the other big series that I'm in the middle of is the Boys of Tommen series. I finished Saving Six yesterday and I just know that this book is going to kill me. I thought, okay, I was looking at it, I was like, okay, 700 page book. It's 900 pages. 900 pages. Do you know what Chloe Walsh can put into this book to absolutely destroy me in 900 pages? A lot. A lot. I am so scared. But I do know, I'm going to assume that it ends well. It's just going to be a long, long ride to get there. So this book I will be listening to on audio, like whenever we're doing stuff today that I can listen to on audio. I'm not going to finish it, that's for sure. The audiobook is probably like 20 plus hours long, and I will continue reading this throughout next week. So we're just going to start this. These are the two mammoth books that we are going to be reading today. Yeah, let's just get started. First things first, I need to change my sheets. Then I need to make a coffee. I haven't had a coffee yet, so we will make a coffee. Wow, another white bed sheet. How creative. I don't know what it is about Germans, but every single pillow comes as a giant square. Who's sleeping on a giant square? Changed into my bikini. We're marinating in some sun cream before we go out, and I made a brown sugar cinnamon iced latte. We are, well, I'm going to read on my Kindle just because it is so much more comfortable to read on a Kindle outside than a paperback. We are on chapter 37, which is 49% of the way through this book. Where even am I? How did the last chapter end? Right, someone is trying to hunt Aelin down, and we also kind of have to figure out what is going on in the world because Aelin is making a very big impact at the minute, and she needs to kind of figure out what her next steps are. I'm sure she knows what her next steps are, she just doesn't like to tell us what her next steps are, so it's just as big of a surprise to us as to all the other characters what her next steps are. But yeah, I love this series because the way that it's written, I think I mentioned this in my last video, and like every time I've been bringing up that I'm reading through the glass, but we switch perspectives within the chapters quite a few times, and I really like that because I feel like we get, like especially in book 3 where we kind of, characters were all over the place, it really worked in that book. So I really like being in loads of different people's heads, and it definitely makes for a much bigger world. Not only is the physical world big, but just being in, you know, everybody's head makes the world bigger. So, and little Willow is sleeping, putting hairs all over my duvet, but that's okay, I will allow it because she's cute. Okay, I'm back from being outside. We are now, I read about this much, we are now on part 2, which I thought was a fitting place to end this reading session, I guess. What a roller coaster of emotions that was. It was like teased to have a massive plot twist. Luckily that didn't end up happening. Then we had some very emotional moments, some very hard-hitting moments, and all within, what, how many pages would that have been? Less than 100 pages. So, okay, now we're gonna move on to the next thing. Do I have a pen here? Can I start checking things off? But I'm gonna do my toes. I'm not gonna film a lot of that, but I'm gonna paint my toes. I need to file off all the old polish and then paint them new. So we are going to start listening to Redeeming 6. Another very difficult book. Why I'm doing this to myself right now, I don't know. But I flew through the last book. That last book is like 600 something pages. Read it in 3 days. So I'm not going to be surprised if I fly through this one as well, because it's just so gripping. Like, I forgot they were all short chapters. And yeah, anyways, I will catch you probably when I've done my toenails. So let's start this book. Hello, this is a very awkward angle, but we're just gonna go with it. I finished painting my toenails. I did like a light blue color, and then ideally I was just gonna start my journal. I did cut all of the covers out while I was listening to Saving 6, so they're all cut now, but all my shutters are down because the sun just glares straight into my room and it heats everything up, so we keep the shutters down. But that means that it is pitch black in there, so I'll probably do that a bit later when I can open them again, and then the lighting's maybe a little bit better because that'll just be nicer for you to see. But anyways, until then, I don't have much else to do aside from read, so we're going to continue with Queen of Shadows. We are now this far in, and we have this much left. So let's get started with part 2. I'm scared. I did not like the final product of this reading journal. I mean, here I'm just showing you all of the materials that I wanted to use. So one of my really good friends, her mum is into journaling as well, and she really likes this brand called Coffee Monsters Co., I believe, and that's where these stamps are from, and a lot of my stickers and my washi tapes are from. Love the brand, and she always gives me a couple things whenever I go visit, and I really appreciate that. And this time around, she gave me these really cute stamps that are book journal themed, and you're supposed to, it's got like star ratings and little quotes and marks and stuff you can see on screen, and I really wanted to use them because that would just look so cute, and it's so like more personal. But you need to stick each stamp on like a block, and I don't have a block. I didn't have anything that resembled a block. I literally tried like using the back of a water bottle lid. That wasn't gonna work because I need something bigger. But anyways, at some point I will figure out how to actually properly use that. So that was a little bit of a disappointment because I was so excited to use that. But then I nothing that I was doing was working. I didn't like the way that things looked. I just didn't really have a lot of, I was hoping that this would get, I don't know, my creative juices flowing and it would look really cool, because there are some spreads in here that I'm really proud of, but the ones that I did for these, wrap-ups, none of them were hitting how I wanted them to hit. It just looked really boring and basic and almost tacky. So it's not my best work, but I am glad that I did it. I don't know, I think next year, if I do go ahead with a reading journal again, I kind of regret getting this really big journal. In my head I was like, oh, I'll have multiple years of journals in this one, but it does kind of make it hard to use the journal because it's just so big. So for my next year's journal, every quarter I will do the spread for that upcoming quarter. I will pre-make each monthly spread per quarter, if that makes sense, so that then all I have to do by the end of it, I only have to work on it twice in one quarter, which is a little less daunting than every single month, because this year I hadn't touched it since January. So I think if I had already know that I've pre-done, January to whatever, I can just put in the covers at the end of the month, and then I know that it only takes 2 days out of every quarter to work on this, I guess, and then I can include it in a vlog. I don't know, we'll see. That's just kind of how I'm thinking it's gonna work, because I put so much effort into this reading journal at the beginning of, I started working on it end of last year, and now I just haven't been using it at all. So that's a shame, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself for how these spreads turned out, because like I said, there are some really fun spreads in this journal, but then these ones just look really boring and silly and not like the best of my abilities, but it is what it is, and I mean, it's just a reading journal. I'll make another one next year, hopefully. But yeah, I think it's gonna happen again that I'll wait another 6 months until I do the last book covers, just because I'm not gonna remember to do them every month. I'm really not. So we'll see what next year's reading journal looks like. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed them. I mean, it was very therapeutic. Hello guys, it is now like 9:30ish and I'm ready for bed because I have to get up early for work tomorrow. So we did finish everything except for the stars today, which I'm quite happy with. The reading journal, not the most proud of it. I was hoping it would, okay, this eye patch keeps slipping, but I was hoping it would kind of like help get my creative juices flowing. It did not. I was not having fun doing that. Okay, not that I wasn't having fun doing it, but I just wasn't inspired by anything to make it look good or anything. So it was very basic and very half effort done, I guess. I don't know how else to say it, but yeah, it did its job. So we're just gonna move on from that. But now I'm going to finish Heather's new vlog. I'm gonna finish that, and then we're gonna dive back into Queen of Shadows because it definitely picked up while I was out today, and I'm very much in the mood for a fantasy book tonight. So we're gonna finish this. Well, we're gonna continue reading this. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I enjoyed seeing everything that I could get up to without being on social media, so maybe we'll do a few more of these this year, and I hope to see you in another video soon.